Typically, when people reach out to me, they've been thinking about a change, and they think that moving is going to satisfy something that they need in their life. There's so many different reasons that people move or choose to downsize or buy and sell. Each one is very personal and unique to your situation. But typically that's where I start, is finding out what's happening in your life and what your goal is, so that I can be really clear on whether or not I can help you at this stage of your life. One of the first things that we're going to talk about is financing. How do you know what you can afford? What is giving you this information? Have you talked to your lender? Have some friends, neighbors, family members given you some advice? Have you talked to a mortgage broker? Like, where are you getting your information, and how do you know what your budget is? Because the very first thing you need to know is your budget, because then we can work within any budget, but we need to know what our parameters are and what our expectations are within our price point. After we figure out budget, price point, after we get a really good clear picture of what would be comfortable for you, we develop an action plan. Like, so basically, what's your timeline? How quickly do you need to move? What kind of home are you hoping to move to? Are you buying land? Are you buying a second property? Are you downsizing? Are you buying your first house? Like, so where are you at in your life, and what are your must-haves? And so, an example, the very first time I bought a house, I had a great realtor, because she said, tell me your top 3 bottom lines. And for me, it was, I had to have a deep bathtub, I had to have a fire pit in my backyard, and I had to have enough bedrooms, 4 bedrooms, enough for my children and I. So yeah, what are your must-haves and non-negotiables? After we talk about your budget, your non-negotiables, after that, someone on our team is going to set you up on a search. I call it a very customized search for you. So we're going to be able to look at different areas in and around Edmonton area. I can do some market research for you. I can check into different counties if you want to buy an acreage. There's all sorts of things I can do on my end to help prepare you for specific areas that you'd like to live in. Average value of homes in that area. So just ask questions, and I can set you up on a customized search that I really want to focus in on meeting your needs. So I want to make sure it checks off those ticky boxes. After you've been seeing some houses that I've sent to you, or that someone from my team has sent to you, and you're also seeing, oh, I like this house, I don't like that house, this meets my needs, this isn't really what I want. You start to kind of narrow it down, and you can click on the top right hand corner a little favorites, like a little heart. So I can see those listings that you've hearted, and I'm able to see what you like. I'm able to get a clear picture. Okay, well, Joe Blow needs a 6-foot high fence, and Mary needs a completely finished basement suite, and Bob needs a side entrance. Like, yeah, I could keep going on and on. But anyway, that's what I need to do. So from that point, we're going to favorite a list, and I'm going to reach out, and we'll schedule time to call to go and see some of these houses in person. So when we go into the house, I look at the structure of the house. I want to look at the foundation. I want to see, what is the foundation made of? What are the materials and the quality? And do I see any cracks? Do I smell any indication that there could have been water damage in the house? So I look at all of that, starting from the ground up. I look at the grading, like how the grading is around the house. Really, you can tell if there's going to be settling, like house settling issues, or disruption in the sidewalk or cement due to trees growing near the house. So anyway, I have lots of information about the exterior, and like I said, the foundation, I really want to pay close attention to that. I'm not as interested in things like appliances or, all that stuff. I'm looking at the structure of the house. I'm looking at the roof, the windows, how much it's going to cost you to repair expensive items. And then after we look at a few houses, I'm going to have a conversation with you. I want to know, Like, what is it that you didn't like about these houses? Or what is it that you loved about these houses? Did you feel at home when you walked in? Because that's the most important thing. If you don't feel like you're at home, you're not going to feel comfortable in that house. You're not going to want to buy it. So you need to, as soon as you walk in the door, you need to have a feeling of comfort and relaxation, and a space where you can say, you know what, I'm proud that this is my home. And as soon as you feel that feeling, you know that you've picked the right house. So then after you find that perfect house and you're so excited and you're like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? And we're going to sit and have a very serious conversation, and we're going to talk about um, the paperwork that I need to do. So we're going to talk about, if I haven't already signed this with you or someone from our team, we need to talk about what it means to work with a real estate agent and what my responsibilities are to you. What, like under our consumer relationships guide, what is my role and my obligations, my duties. Also, what to expect during the whole buying process and what my fees are. And at this moment, being a buyer, you don't have to pay my fees. Realtor fees are paid by the seller. So the seller pays both agents. The buyer never ever pays. So just a tidbit of info. How much does it cost to buy a house or to buy a property? Okay. So first of all, you're not going to pay for me, like for my fees, because my fees are covered by the seller. This person who's selling the property pays both agents. Okay. They might change that in the future, but for now, you don't pay any buyer realtor fees. Secondly, you're going to need about $500 to $700 for a home inspection, more for an acreage or to do any specialized tests like scope testing or like checking out your fireplace, all that stuff. Third cost for you, or like third thing, is lawyer fees, which cost between $1,500 and $2,200. And then whatever it costs to move or to downsize or to, if you hire a moving company or a cleaning company, all of that adds up really quickly. And that's how much it costs. Once you make an offer as a buyer, you have a period of time to make sure that you satisfy your conditions. So conditions, some common conditions are home inspection. You want to make sure that the home that you're moving into has been inspected. All of the electrical, plumbing, all of those components are done. Financing, you might be pre-approved, but are you completely approved? So we're going to need to make sure financing is firmly in place. There's all sorts of different conditions, and there's a period of time. It could be a few days, it could be a couple of weeks, but there's a period of time that you have in order to satisfy those conditions. So we'll chat more about this to specify what it is that you're looking for. After we go through your home inspection, we figure out if financing is firmly in place. This is a time when we need to have a conversation about, it's called waiving your conditions. So there's two forms that we fill out. One is a non-waiver or non-satisfaction of conditions, and the other one is a waiver or satisfaction of conditions. And what that means is that you, as the buyer, needs to be satisfied with the home inspection and satisfied that financing is in place. The consequences of this is if you waive your conditions, and then 2 days before possession, you get cold feet and you say, I want to back out. Oh my gosh, I didn't mean to buy this house. You still will have to pay the deposit that you put down. But otherwise, and you can also say, you know what, I'm not satisfied with the home inspection or financing. Financing wasn't in place or whatever it is. And then we submit a non-waiver, non-satisfaction, and you get your deposit back. And that's how that works. We consider the property sold as soon as you submit a waiver or satisfaction of conditions. So the day finally came. We are ready to submit a waiver or satisfaction of conditions. So our conditional period is over. Financing is firmly in place. We received confirmation from our mortgage broker. Yes, we have reviewed all of the condo docs if we are moving into a condominium, and we're satisfied with that. We have done the home inspection and we're satisfied with that, or with the negotiations that arose from that. And yeah, now it's time to pack and get ready. Now it's time to think about moving and moving costs, a cleaner, maybe someone to help you declutter or organize yourself as you move. Maybe you need a cleaning company. I have all those referrals. Just let me know. And the last but most important thing is remember 2 weeks in advance to transfer all your utilities over to your new address. And that's it. Congratulations. This is now the time to celebrate. You've officially purchased a house. Key release day. Okay, so I get a lot of questions about what happens on key release. So according to the contract, all of this needs to happen by noon of your possession date. Okay, and sometimes it doesn't happen at noon. Sometimes it happens at 9 a.m. Once I was phoned from a lawyer's office at, I think it was 9:30 in the morning to release keys. Sometimes most times it happens between the hours of 11 and I'd say 2 p.m. Sometimes I've seen it as late as 6 p.m. So it all depends on what's happening and how the money is transferring from the lender or from one bank to another bank. And keeping in mind that each lawyer has to receive the funds and has to do what they need to do with the funds in order to transfer title over. So key release, just be a little bit flexible that day and don't expect to be in your house exactly at noon on key release day. If you found this video helpful at all as you consider your buying journey within Edmonton and surrounding areas, can you please click the little button below, like and subscribe? I'm very new to YouTube, but you'll start to see more and more of me as I pull all of my old videos together to create some value for people who are buying in Edmonton, Sherwood Park, St. Albert, and surrounding areas. Anyway, thank you so much for taking the time to watch my video. I really appreciate it. And if there's any other topics you want me to cover, in particular in regards to residential real estate or agricultural real estate, please comment below and I'm going to do my very best to create videos for you, videos that you find important. Anyway, thanks again. Please click like and below and I'll see you soon.